Colorado's long ballots, they're complicated enough in English. Picture reading them in your second language. Oh, you only speak one fluently. Yeah, me too. But thousands of our neighbors speak a couple of languages, and the law requires that they get a ballot that they can best understand. Our Nusha Roy looks at how legislators want to expand that access.
Day one of when Vietnamese refugees had arrived in Colorado.
Na Vong Sandoval, a community activist, is still listening to people who said they aren't voting.
I don't think our community is alone in that.
Because of a language barrier.
And as far as speaking, conversational versus reading and writing the language, they're significantly different.
But sometimes the Tabor language that we see on the ballot is confusing. It's confusing even for me, and I have a doctorate.
Democratic Representative Yadira Caraveo, representing Adams County, said this issue could impact more than 100,000 Coloradans, which is why she's trying to come up with a uniform rule for the state on when counties need to provide multilingual ballots and set up a statewide hotline to help with translation.
So that we can accommodate more Coloradans.
A federal law requires multilingual ballots when 5% of the county's population speaks another language. The state law would cut that in half. Right now, 4 counties in Colorado provide bilingual election materials, the biggest being Denver, where they're required to translate into Spanish and also do the same for 5 other languages, including Vietnamese.
The Vietnamese language is one of the top 5 most spoken language in Colorado.
But some clerks aren't convinced the state needs to step in because they have faith in the federal rules.
Those numbers have been reviewed by Republican and Democrat administrations, Department of Justice.
In El Paso County, the Republican clerk and recorder said he has faith in the work they've put in to make voting as easy as possible.
As clerks, we're concerned about the cost.
And is worried about what could be lost in translation.
We're concerned about the legal liability. You know, when you translate from one language to another, especially when things are very legal and technical in nature.
So the way that the law is written right now is that counties would pay for the printing and the Secretary of State along with those counties would be handling the translations, and this could potentially change the rules from the current 4 counties, increasing it to 22 counties in Colorado that would have to change the languages around their ballots.
Someone out there forgetting, understandably, that English is not the official language of America is thinking, well, don't you have to speak English in order to vote?
No. So actually, if you're trying to become a citizen, right, you're going through that naturalization process, you can be 50 or older and be exempt from the English language requirement. So that essentially means that there are people who can become a citizen but may still have trouble understanding a ballot because of the language.
And plenty of other people who can understand English, speak English, but might not be comfortable with a complex text in English.
And you know, being able to vote on that.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Nusha.